Seeks, tell me about things and stuff.
I'm going to tell you about everything. The secrets of the universe, Brad. Are you ready?
I am ready. I'm ready for all of the secrets of the universe, my friend. I need
Is your
to know.
Drukari-addled mind prepared for this?
Look, man, we all know.
Or has it been too dumbed down for once?
Look, man, we all know that I'm willing to bandwagon whatever is the best, except for AdMech, which was too expensive for me, and I'm too much of a fluff nerd to roleplay myself with a chip in my head. I can imagine myself an immortal elf murdering people, a giant demon prince. What I don't want to do is me having a 9-to-5 job for the Imperium, clocking in. So I'm not allowed to do that. It's too boring.
John is bringing the GSC this week, and he is not bringing the Bradling, which is very unfortunate because the Bradling is essential.
Dude, what the hell? That upsets me. I'm so sad about this. Why not? Why not, my man? Let's talk about, we had so many reveals this week.
Mm-hmm. Huge.
We got a con. We got a Primarch, baby. And it's actually pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. He
looks cool. I was hoping he'd be on the bike, honestly. But
yeah, I was actually a little bit surprised that he was not on the bike. So but still cool nonetheless. It's a really, really cool model. Let's be honest with that. Like, pretty boss mode. So
did you see the memes of him? Yeah, people put the 40K jet bikes for his feet. He basically had them as skates. It's pretty funny.
See, I could do that. But look at this. I mean, that's badass. Seriously. Like, that model's hardcore. You know what I mean? I would like to have seen a little bit of bike mojo on him, but I can't say that I'm sad.
Look at that base. They could have just changed that into a bike and done. Perfect.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I wish they had the duo, tell you the truth, where if you could do bike or, you know what I mean? Obviously, that's a totally different sculpt, but I mean, definitely you could have done that.
People are paying $300 for this already. Let them pay more.
Yeah. I mean, it's 100%. But I think it's badass, man. I do think that he should have been on bike, though. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? I mean, Khan on bike is pretty iconic. Let's be, to be fair, pretty iconic here. But
Brad, he's following the John Lennon way, where you don't run any bikes in white scars.
I know.
Tried and tested.
We have to. I can't even run PG right there. I can't run PG and give my thoughts on white scars with no bikes. That's like the Mongol horde that's walking instead of on horseback. Does Con Lennon
does approve.
Yeah,
100%. He is very excited.
What do you want to see out of Blood Axes next week? We're gonna get
nothing. I want to see the worst rule set possible.
Well,
I want all the orc rules to be
if they were just different and we didn't see just the speed walk, you know what I mean?
There's no way that doesn't only buff the speed stuff. That's already good.
I mean,
what they should have gotten
it
was
would be
like
Freebooters at least.
It's
It's not Freebooters, so at least it's Blood Angels. So then they'll make them super good.
Blood Axes are the second best one.
Yeah,
they're the one if you want to play more conservatively.
Yeah, when you can actually fall back and shoot. So my entire battle plan, which is right now, if I see orcs, I run as fast as possible and touch them, doesn't work.
Yeah, this makes no sense at all in the context of the game. Obviously, they probably wrote this a long time ago, and we're just like, oh, it's time for orcs now. But this is not what the game needs. So I have no idea what the rules are in there, but I hope they're terrible. I hope they are the worst army of renown and
so full of venom, sir. So full of venom.
To be fair, I want orcs to get buffs, just not any of the planes or the buggies. I want all the boys to be buffed, and that should have been a Goths thing. Just like the Necrons should have got a Zarek and Dynasty Silent King buffing supplement. Orcs should get a Goth one,
or just protocols to work. Let's not even go there.
But they need love for their other stuff, and it has to only buff the buggies.
I agree.
There's no way it doesn't.
I so much agree, guys. Boys do need an extra wound, and the flyers need to just literally be set on fire. Not even increase, just set on fire. Yeah, that's true. We are getting a Speed Freaks Army of Renown. I'm pretty sure Siegs is super excited about hearing that one.
I can't wait. Now you get to run an infinite amount of buggies. It doesn't matter what the detachment limits are.
Well, they'll get bonuses also. Don't sell an Army of Renown short, buddy.
Yeah. Imagine they get transhuman or something absurd defensively.
I mean, you'll have people just like rage quitting games like instantly. Especially when it first comes out, when everybody doesn't know, and you don't own Octarius, the book 2, and then someone does that to you, and you're like, what does it do? Nah!
AdMech needed serious buffs. I mean, it was only like a month ago that Admech had a 48 win percent at New Orleans, right?
Oh, shut up. Damn it.
I love numbers. I
Look
love
at
numbers.
laughably. Well, they are the best over the last 13 weeks, the winningest army. Even with Drakari beating up on random Marines, but
Hey, I didn't pick up Brad's entire army in my first shooting phase.
oh,
That's
shut
an
up. Yeah, that was the
Poor
travesty. It was just a very long, drawn out thing.
You'll never see anything like that again for a long time.
The best is I was just sitting there playing, and people ask me about that. They're like, "Oh, you're in Seeks. Your game went to the thing." I go, "Yeah, but it was we already have been talked about exactly where this game was going. I was always losing by 2. It was somewhere between 2 and 5. You never had to do anything besides hang out." Screw you, Admech. Screw you.
Leave my Admech alone.
Yeah,
I get like Chad Brew's comment. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of reckoning for Admech. But
yeah, they're
that's
gonna
when I
get
get to run the Colt
smashed.
Mechanicus defense cohort and find a way to make that some magic.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I love the fact that your army was smashing everybody, and then they're like, "We should give Admech a supplement." They're really struggling right now.
The one army that needs one didn't get one.
You're just like,
Just absurd.
yeah, exactly. Sees his eviscerating GW, then field back his Necrons get brought up. Also true. Fluff-wise, man, we get a lot of stuff coming out. Have you watched any of the Warhammer Plus, or are you still holding out?
I have not subscribed yet, but as soon as the Eisenhorn TV series is on there, I'm in. That's what I'm waiting for. But right now, I think John is the only one subscribed, and I'm not sure how much of it he's watched. The stuff that he has watched, he was pretty positive about. But I haven't spent enough time on there.
We've got. I mean, I should just play the preview for Custodes. It's pretty boss mode. Come on,
This guy.
the Shadow Throne, bro. We're getting Custodes. The Codex. They released that was what's coming out.
Oh yeah.
GSC and Custodes, man. I mean, you can't. The thing is pretty juiced. I mean, if you haven't seen, I feel like I should just play it. It's pretty badass. It was delicious. It was so good. I mean, Custodes have some flavor, bro, and
they're really good right now.
Well, it's not even just good in the game. I'm talking about the lore, bro. It's 40K today. We get to talk about everything.
The lore.
Yeah, exactly. I will drag you kicking and streaming into more lore stuff.
To be fair, Brad, well, I started in 3rd edition, and back then in the rulebook, they had that epic old school, the Emperor versus Horus, and then they had the imagery of the Custodes with the really cool helmets and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I loved all that.
That's how I got into the game. I got in
If
2nd
Custodes
edition.
exist back then, I would have started with them.
Yeah, that's true. They were completely didn't exist model wise. And the thing is that I just like the fluff. I mean, these are the original bros. I mean, obviously the original bros with the Thunder Boys, and then the Custodes came out of that. But and John will yell at me for saying that that's not exactly correct, and it's not, but it's pretty much how it happened. So, and he's not here to tell me no. So. But I think the Custodes have like some pretty badass lore, and like all those dudes are literally, if you run like the stories and the everything else, literally every Custode is a freaking hero, basically. You know what I mean? He's like an HQ choice with lore and everything else behind him. Those dudes are badass, man.
They're leadership 8 right now, like the basic custodian.
Yeah, that's
for some reason,
silly.
leadership
I'm not
8,
gonna lie, they should just be
Spaceman
fearless.
Sergeant.
And the thing is that they're literally heroes of legend. The Custodes are like, yo, bro, if you want to roll down to Terra, you're about to get your ass kicked. That's what's happening. Like, this is going down. We don't even mess around. So I'm very excited for that army to get more units, more fluff, more choices. You know what I mean? Just more. It's every army shouldn't be Shadow Keepers with the same crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's totally fair.
And they put out a cool animation. You should check it out. There's some good stuff on there. I don't know if Warhammer Plus is legit yet because they don't have a catalog of stuff good enough. But I have to say I'm giving it a chance because I do like some of the stuff on there, and I would really like them to push off. I would like them to get the hell off the back of non-GW content creators because there's some great stuff. Things like The Last Church and stuff like that are amazing. People doing fluff, and they're kind of going after them pretty hard. I would love to see them let those people go pretty hard and be amazing and get off them. But I'm very, very looking forward to that. I'm not as excited. I'm more excited about NIDS than I am just about GSC. I wish the actual NID book came out instead of the GSC book. I mean, John will just be angry right now with me saying that, but I actually, with the addition of that Octarius Leviathan, man, I just thought that the NIDS are just primed to get some more juice. I also don't even know where to put them. Where do you put them right now in a tier list, Siegs? Because it's a crazy punching army with no cardio. I do my fight references. Jack will know this one better. But it's like literally the fighter that can't go into the late rounds, but hits so hard right away. And if you're still there, you know, they got nothing else. But man, that army punches up hard and then just kind of dies.
I think they're at least A tier. They're one of the best armies in the game now.
Yeah.
The Leviathan specifically. What that build is, the Gene Stealers, the strat with the Gene Stealers is obscene. They put out so much damage now. Chapter Master rerolls, of course. So they already hit pretty hard. They had kind of slowly, the game had gone into, you know, everybody else was doing a lot more damage than Tyranids, but they've gone right back to that. We do a ton of damage, and they still have the same speed as before. It's a little less than Kraken, but you could still make them Kraken for CP.
Yeah, I mean, and I
great
think
indirect fire, tons of damage all over the place, speed, and then obsec everywhere. They're able to destroy primary like a few other factions can.
that's the
really
scariest
strong
army in the game to play in Dawn of War 2.
Totally.
You just because of the fact that they can move them in the shooting phase, which means that no screens are safe. You get hit by two or three consecutive rounds of fire from a couple Hive Guard units, and all of a sudden there's just nothing in the way for you to block anymore, and your backfield just gets blasted. Man, that's big, bro.
I think they further emphasize skew list though, which is a little unfortunate. So I don't expect the meta to be getting any better anytime soon.
No,
more indirect, more planes. Expect to see it.
I mean, yes, you're not wrong, but well, let's talk about good things for you. I mean, they did leak out the fact that you're going to see some Tau early 2022.
Coming out of stasis, Brad. I am pulled back out of stasis for the Empire. Are you ready for this?
I'm not ready for this. I don't even want to play. I remember playing with the Tau. It's so many. F Tau is probably the thing written and said more than anything else, and they're coming back. And
look what I did with a terrible 8th edition codex against top tier broken Jukari with old dark technomancers. Just give me anything.
I think that they're going to be. I think they're going to be scary. I think that the problem is that also Tau. Any of the armies that have very, very skewed one dimension, as far as the Tau shooting, Khorne, for instance, hand-to-hand, where they don't operate in other phases, very, very difficult to make them either just good enough or not terrible. I think that it's very... Because I think, well, the problem is that... And actually, you're one of the problems, Siegs, right here. You, my friend. You know why? Because, where are you on the screen? Are you to my left or my right? There, point. You're the problem, Siegs. So... Because if you take someone that's going to min-max and make the best army out of one of those armies, say Tau, for instance, they have to skew it in the fact that anybody that brings something and plays it skillfully, they have to tone the power down a little bit because I just pointed the wrong way. Damn it! It becomes super difficult to balance it to everybody else. You know what I mean? So it becomes a big deal for. You know, where do they put Tau? You're like, the average player is just okay with Tau. Then you're like, hey, I'll give Siegs Tau. And you're like, okay, this army's busted now. You know what I mean?
The reason I won, though, wasn't because I took Tau to its most efficient min-maxing on damage-wise. Instead, I turned Tau into a movement army, and that's why I won. I won consistently because I made Tau a movement phase army.
You have to. That's where the game's won and lost right now. Movement phase.
So I would like to see Tau get more movement shenanigans, more jank, more ways to like move after shooting, move after... like a charge comes in, you get to reposition units, stuff like that. That would be really cool.
I don't want to play John with GSC. It makes me sad. So he did well with them before. So
he did, and then I found the Tau build.
You found the Tau build. So you could block them out. That was the old thing. You just had to bring enough garbage. You just need to bring the Brad philosophy of bring enough trash, you can play anything.
20-point shield drone units coming out. They're going to screen you for 4 turns in a row. You're never getting close to me.
I did the same thing with others. You just got to bring all the trash. That's the only way to play them. How much trash do you have? So much trash.
Tau has a lot of trash. It's an army built on trash.
Built on trash. I don't play armies that don't have trash, tell you the truth. I need my trash. That's the only way I know how to play. Because I send a lot of people on suicide missions. Hey, why are we standing here? It feels real dangerous. Don't worry about it. We got a plan for you. It's going to work out in the end. I feel like it's not going to work out for me. You'll be all right. So what do you think about that? We're going to have Custodes, we're going to have GSC, we're going to have Tau, basically back to back to back for the end of the year and the new year. Do you think that that's going to, one, is it going to be early enough for LVO, or is it just going to be new year meta?
I would really hope it's all for LVO. I have no idea. Games Workshop probably doesn't even know, and that's why they don't put release dates on.
That's true.
So
they just said
hopefully it's all one after another.
soon.
I would love Tau to come out like the first week of January. That's what, like, so pre-order end of December, comes out first week of January, and then you get a little bit of time of the codex before LVO submission. That would be ideal, but we'll see what ends up happening. Usually they kind of skew a little later in the January month, so I wouldn't expect Tau to be available.
I would like Tau to have better play in the game, super deadly firepower, and I would like to see less indirect fire in the game.
I hate broadsides. Hate them.
I mean,
I do not.
no. I'm just
broadsides.
saying as a whole, like you know what I mean? I just because of the smaller board size that we got 9th edition, I think that indirect became so ridiculously powerful. You know what I mean? And that's, most of them just got pointed out, but anything that's efficient and indirect, obviously,
That's
especially
the thing, though. It's just like the points.
Yeah.
Like, please, an AP3 damage to
yes.
indirect fire platform with blast. How is that 90 points? Because it has a ton of defense on top of that. Like, what?
Well, I mean, everybody saw that immediately.
No,
like,
the Thunder
literally,
Fire Cannon is more expensive than it.
yeah, and it sucks comparatively. It's terrible. It's
So,
laughably terrible.
they just messed up.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd love to see the 3 codexes all alive for LVO and us getting the points nerf. That would be spicy right now. That's a spicy
Pivot
LVO.
right out of AdMech right into Tau and just dominate.
But before they get an FAQ, so you find all the broken stuff. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
They took like 3 years to FAQ all the jank that Tau had, because I kept finding new stuff that they could do. They had like 4 or 5 different ways to get into combat without declaring a charge.
Yeah, it was
and
ridiculous.
slowly they took one away, one at a time.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know how this works. You're like, well, you know how devout push works? It's kind of like that, but I feel like
It's just better.
it's just better. Yeah, exactly. And I also have Savior
Because the
protocols.
Riptide's coming in.
Yeah.
3 up invuln Riptide's tagging you.
You're like, and if you hit me with something real, well, this drone's gonna jump in the way. Ah!
I don't expect the 3 up invuln Riptide to survive, but that's fine. It doesn't need a 3 up invuln. If it keeps the jump shoot jump Nova
I'm
boost.
not gonna lie. I would love to see all the nerfs right away. I'd like to see the nerfs. I mean, I want them sooner rather than later, but I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see late December nerfs, even though it'd kind of make the meta stink for another month or so.
I like early December.
Yeah, but
right
man,
before these codexes, because
I can
that
see
way
that.
you get positivity throughout the whole month.
Yeah,
New
I give you that. New
plus the whole
codex is
game
plus the
changing.
thing. And the thing is that would make LVO just a wide open. It'd be the Wild West, dude. You know what I mean? Because
I love those metas.
You're not going to have enough time. People aren't going to be.
I'll have the time. Don't worry about that.
No. Whoa. You're going to download the meta anyways. Everybody knows that you're just going to matrix it up. You don't count. Normal humans that don't have cybernetic installed into them. That's the people that we're worried about with this. But I think it's a super fun time because no one has a major to go to before LVO when we change this. So basically, you're going to come with your theory against other people's theory. Camilleri actually said this. He goes, the theory on theory battle. And hopefully we'll smash it. I mean, I'll be down there anyways, because let's be honest, as soon as these nerfs come in, I'm taking myself a Tallahassee trip and I'm going to play a bunch of 40K in the lab, and we're going to come up with what we're taking to LVO.
Well, I'm going to take nothing but Remoras, Brad. Somehow there's going to be some
my
weird buff
God.
that helps Remoras.
It's just going to
and
upset
they're
me so much. I got touched bad by Remorse. I don't like it at all. What's your thoughts on the new Custodes character rules? Anything that's released on that, I can only say what actually came out. So if you want to touch that
it
one,
came out
Sigs.
today. You want me to go through it?
Yeah.
All right. So he's called the Blade Champion.
Oh, the one that actually got. I thought you were talking about the. Go ahead, but continue.
The Blade Champion.
Yep.
So all right, we got he's got 3 different attack profiles, which this is flexibility. He's got a Vault Swords one that's very good against monsters and vehicles. It's +2 strength, AP4 flat, 2 damage 2. And when you're doing those attacks against a monster or vehicle unit, unmodified hits of 4s auto wound, not bad. And then he's got a anti-infantry one, which is every hit roll is you make 2 hit rolls instead for every attack you have, and strength user AP 1/1 damage. And then he has a sword that's good against characters, which is +1 strength AP 4 flat 3. And then each time you make a attack against the character, reroll the wound.
I thought we were talking about there was about 72 pages of leaks that came out today. Also, not the,
I did not read any
the,
leaks.
not the ones in the community. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, honestly, I don't read any of the leaks. But he also has access to transhuman in melee, and then he has +1 to saving throws.
I would say that's all one strat though. So each time where it's basically he gets transhuman and +1 to his save. That's boss mode.
It's good. 6-inch heroics, also very useful. It's going to come down to price because this is not something that Custodes actually need to help them be a well-rounded force. This is just I beat people up in combat, which totally fine. But if he's just a walking character, it's not that fast. Hopefully there's some sort of advance and charge warlord trait that would make this guy really tasty. But he's got decent defense. It's just not really solving a problem Custodes needs. So I'm skeptical on whether he's going to actually fit in or not. It's going to come down to points. If he's pretty cheap, maybe. They've priced the champions relatively aggressively for Space Marines, and yet we still barely ever see them, even though you can get that silly White Scars 4 damage dude with a boatload of attacks. We still don't really see them.
The thing is how much do they price diversity? You know what I mean? The flexibility of this. Because let's be honest, being able to choose triple profile is a big deal. You know what I mean? That adds a lot. Cool. I mean, just the fact that everybody, I'm not going to lie, everybody should have a sweep attack. Let's be honest. In the first place, you know what I mean? It's just
not everybody. Just my Farsight crisis suits.
Yeah, exactly. Your Farsight crisis, not even characters, just crisis suits should have sweep attacks. This is why we don't talk. Let's talk about a couple of these things, brother. The GSC stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about these explosives, bro.
Hey, they're actually reasonable, unlike the Orc explosives, which can target aircraft, apparently. I learned that against Mark. I don't know why Squig mines with 6-inch range can target aircraft, but this 24-inch range mines cannot target aircraft, which makes a lot more sense.
Well, aircraft never makes sense, but also the Squig. I actually played Orcs, and I didn't realize that they ignore all character targeting rules.
It's like what?
I was playing on stream at Canada, and I found that out when the Archon standing next to the court of the Archon behind a wall got blasted with Squig bombs. I was not excited. I was no excited. But
so this is not a ranged attack?
Yeah, exactly. But these are pretty badass. I mean, it's assault 2d3, strength 8, AP 3, damage 1, and a vehicle or monster, they're damage 3. We'll see what the price is, obviously, on them, but that's pretty boss mode. You know what I mean?
Not bad. Throw this at Skitarii units. 6 shots, AP 3, not bad.
Yeah. I mean, you can, and we'll see how many vehicle and monsters, obviously, we get into stuff. So there's a lot of stuff to be done on that. I do like the cloaked, obviously. +1 additional. Anytime you get any of those type of units, obviously there's a lot of stuff that can just ignore benefits of cover anyways, but most of the rest of us mortal units do not. So it's a big deal on this, especially, -1 to hit helps with the current orcs and stuff. And then +1 to your save obviously helps when you're getting shot at with speedwalk stuff. So, I mean, I think that there's going to be some good stuff. Like literally super good to stuff. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this clandestine rule is silly. Like if that was on more units, wow, that would be really annoying to deal with. Because you really don't want to get close to GSC. They still hit extremely hard, even 9th edition.
I would say even right now they hit super hard on that.
They still hit hard. That's not their problem. It's surviving on objectives.
Yeah, T3 with a bad save, not really the best. Yeah, I play that underpowered Drukhari army. I know those pains, bro. I know those pains. Sorry, I had to get the Snarling Scroll. What are we talking about? We're talking about the Custodes and GSC stuff they put out on the Warhammer community page today. So, hello, everyone. But we've been talking about that. We've been talking about the fact that we're going to get Tau right after that. They didn't even just come out and release it. They came at like halfway down the page and just went, oh yeah, the Black Templars will play pretty well Death Watch will play really well into the new Tau when they came out at the beginning of 2022. So that was their big Tau announcement, accidentally mentioning them in someone else's press release, basically. So It's you never know what you're gonna get with GW. So now we gotta guess when we're gonna get them, and we're kind of really debating on whether LVO is gonna be a Wild Wild West situation, which I really hope it does. Because I'm going to come down and I'm going to try to write down everything. I'm going to plug Siegs into the computer and I'm going to try to analyze what comes out of his brain. And then we're going to figure out what list we're taking from there.
I'm going to give Brad a Jakara army.
I'm going to be...
Position.
See, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to come down to Tallahassee. They're going to play the long con on me. We're going to play like 20 games. And they're going to convince me that some Kroot Mercenaries army is the best thing to ever take. And then they're going to take the real army that they actually were talking about when I wasn't around. And then I'm
Brad,
going
what army you bring? Kroot Mercenaries? Why? Like, oh, that thing sucks. Here's the real thing. It's triple storm surge, bro.
It is. Tower does steal focus. Well, we had Siegs in here, so you know the Tower going to get a little love when they get.
I cannot wait. I'm super excited. I wonder if Auxiliary... I just want Vespids. If any of the mercenaries are good, hopefully it's Vespids.
They've been really bad for a really long time.
Yeah, they even got a strat with full rerolls to hit, and that didn't help.
No, because they're just like, what's your gun?
And why am I spending CP on this unit?
Yeah.
I want Crisis units to still be good. That's a huge deal. They like barely made Crisis suits up to that tier where you could actually play them pretty effectively in Farsight Enclaves. They need
some love. I mean, I can like Kroot hype for sure. Yeah, exactly. The computer better be powerful and I'm downloading all your knowledge from it. So I want to take that. I want to take that the mojo. But I think it's going to be fun though, because I love when a meta's wide open, because it feels like you can really, I mean, making lists is a skill. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? Especially when you don't have, a tried and true meta when you're coming in. I just love making stuff when you have open. When we get new editions, new books, new everything, I think that's one of the most fun times, is trying to figure out your take on that and if it's going to do well. So,
and if there's so many factions in the meta, you have to be thinking about so many different things. It's about priorities. What am I actually going to try and lean towards being better against? And that makes for a really interesting list.
Yeah, it makes it harder for me, who tries to play against everybody. You're like, I'm only going to tech against these 6 players.
What is John running? All right, where's the hardest?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, Brad's actually teching against 900 people. Siegs is teching against 9. It's gonna be tougher for Brad. You're like, I don't need to worry about this other stuff. I'll just figure out. They'll run all their sisters units in front of the wall. I don't need to have a counter for that.
I use my mind control powers.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how you do that. Also, but I also get people that are okay with going to the bar and drinking with me at the game instead of you hunting down.
I play out every single minute of every single game. It's like my opponent has a half of a model left, and I have to kill them in combat with my Cerberus Raider.
I just think that's the craziest thing. When I walked by your table and that dude had a model, I was like, hey man, can we go eat lunch? You're like, I gotta finish this. I'm like, okay, but
every game, I still like playing out the games. I don't mind, but it's just funny to me because like people against Nick will be like, oh, all right, well, I'm already in a losing position. It's over. I'll just accept it. And then against me, they're having such a good time.
See, this is the thing. I take them to the bar seats. I buy drinks. You should switch your method that you use. Everybody wants to have a drink or two. Just chill out. So I do that. You know where to find me. I'm the guy with a glass of wine. I've made no quandaries about this. That's what I do. It works out.
How are they doing a new Darkstrider model before Farsight? If the rumors are true, like how do you not do Farsight?
They were supposed to be focusing on him too. That was the whole thing.
The supplement was good. Just expand on that. It'd be great. But
they do have to make suits. I mean, suits are the bread and butter, I feel, of that army. It's like they're what you think of when you think Tau. You know what I mean? So,
you know what I don't expect to be good? Shield drones.
No,
I feel like
you've literally ruined that forever.
I ruined this.
That is again your fault. So, but plastic.
I just want my Devilfish, my Breachers, my Crisis suits, and my Commanders, and I'm good.
Is Nick gonna roll for his LVO Tau army? Dude, one, that army would come out and Nick would know none of the rules and we would troll him and convince him that certain things were real that aren't real. There's actually more of a chance of us trolling Nick to play something than trolling me.
It'd be so easy to do it too. I mean, we did it. We basically, he thought John and I were going to run our Imperial Fists for LVO 2019 because we were running it at Charity Hammer and just
Yeah,
talking
you
up the list,
scarred
doing
him
well with it,
emotionally.
and just like tabling people, and then show up at LVO with Leviathan. Did not expect that. So his White Scars did nothing against our list.
You made him YOLO White Scars.
We were the inspiration for YOLO White Scars. You got to send Nick into a list spiral. If you don't, I mean, what are you doing?
He literally played it at like a 90% win rate for a full year, and then played one test game with YOLO White Scars, and then just went into the tournament with it. You broke him. It's your fault. That is again your fault. What if drones reverted to being a blade of wounds you bought that became part of the unit they came from? That would be a way better idea than anything they've done so far with them. The drone rule was so dumb in the fact that you literally got hit with a volcano cannon, and you're like, I just did 12 damage to you. You're like, or one drone. You're like, what?
Or one drone makes a feel no pain.
It makes
and ignores
one
it.
feel no pain. Yes. You're like, I don't really know what that drone did, but he just took a volcano cannon to the face and is like, merely a flesh wound. I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead. You're like, you should be dead. You look real dead. You're like, he's fine.
I mean, it made up for the god-awful rules that Tau got elsewhere. Man, their warlord traits and relics are still so bad.
Hey, man, you got fusion blades. You settle down.
Oh, man. And it's only you can only make 2 additional attacks, Brad, not my 4.
It's true. You don't even attack with them. It's so
if
weird
I had
because you literally only have those as your weapon. How don't you make all of your attacks with them?
It's the same thing for the Honor Gauntlet, the other melee relic.
You roll one
attack. You can only roll 1 attack with it.
I did have one of my favorite modeling things. Snakes actually had the Onager captain, and he modeled him with like a giant power fist from, I think, War Machine. So it was just a regular Tau commander and this huge fist that was just dragging on the ground. And we do need less bodyguard rules, not more. I actually think bodyguard's going to get hit if I was going to guess, and that's
I would hope so. It's the most abusable thing out there. I just don't think they understood what the consequences of it were. Well, they're like, cool, this is a nice defensive mechanic. Keep characters
super whack if you do it with Tau. If you had drones, personal drones again. Imagine a Tau commander just dragging drones out to bodyguard.
That mechanic alone would be amazing with Farsight with his 6-inch heroic.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. That sounds like a good time for everybody. You're like, hey, man, what's the thing you didn't like about Sisters the most? You're like, we're going to do that with Tau. Yeah, I do. I loved it. Actually, every edition before 8th and 9th, any of those things that you bought were always war gear. Any of your extra, your dogs, your drones, your whatevers, were just war gear for whatever the character was, forever. That was literally how it was played until the last 2 editions. So that's a big thing on that. I don't know. What are you guys in chat? What are you guys most excited about right now? Are you excited about GSC, Custodes, Tau, or seeing
I'm nervous
more
about
orcs?
Custodes, honestly. They have really good strats, and a lot of books that had some of the best strats have been toned down a lot and didn't get like buffed in other places enough. I'm thinking Blood Angels specifically. They basically lost all their good strats or had them nerfed. And,
Yeah, Blood Angels did get all of their strats nerfed.
It's like every single one. I'm worried that if Shadow Keepers disappears and then they nerf the stuff they got in Psychic Awakening, that'll be a huge a nerf to Custodians because they really rely on that extra layer of defense. They need that defense because they need their stuff to survive into turns.
Well, they have very few models. Anytime you have low model count, you can't have it be super swingy. So
yeah.
So, but I'm super psyched about some of these. I mean, if you're going to be, to be fair, I'm most excited for everything else in 2022 because I'm very excited for Chaos.
I'm not excited at all, but for Chaos,
I know you don't like Chaos
they get
at
nothing.
all. You know what? Quit being such a hater.
They get like more Venom crawlers.
Look at Sieg showing up at the player hater ball right there. That's some winning player hater stuff right there. You gotta love them. They're literally the basis for the game. Marines and Chaos, the Horus Heresy.
I want Necrons to get love.
Necrons can get a buff, but that doesn't mean that
Okay.
Chaos. Everybody needs a buff. Everybody should share the
I want
wealth.
Chaos to be good enough where they can't win super majors, but they're up there, so I get to just beat on them
Yeah,
repeatedly. That's a
yeah,
great spot for
that
Chaos.
seems great. Like I want them just good enough where people play them and I win. Look at this.
That's
This
where
is
they
it.
were for so long in 8th edition. It was perfect.
This is why you're leading the player haters ball right here. It's hurtful, hurtful. Matthew
Ergomancer
Nurgle's
check.
got it on it, man. He knows it. Chaos is going to be. I think Chaos is going to be boss mode. Sevens exactly.
I mean, they have so many rules. There's going to have to be something that's silly in there.
Yeah.
Honestly, talking about GSC, Custodes, Tau coming out, one of those books is going to have something silly broken, and it's not going to get nerfed for LVO. So expect that faction to just be seen everywhere. I'd bet on it.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not going to lie. I'm looking for Craft World the most though.
Ah, no.
Let's
And
hope
where
Shield
else?
Drones bodyguard
We had a year of
everything. You
elves
stop
already.
that clown mode. You stop that. Bodyguard everything. You're not allowed to shoot at the army.
You're not allowed to shoot back. You thought drones were bad? Now you can't even shoot at my army.
Yeah, you're just not allowed to shoot.
You gotta kill Tau in combat, but they move after you charge them.
I do love my space elves. I think I own the most space. I own more Craft World than I own anything else, second by Chaos. I have like old. Oh, you thought some of my models look bad now? Whoo! I'll bring some of my 20-some-year-old Chaos stuff out, blowing the dust off it that I haven't used in a while. Oh,
Nick's stuff looks awful. The stuff that he used to play in like 6th and 7th,
oh yeah.
it's a complete hodgepodge of just awful models. None of them have like riders. Their weapons are all not WYSIWYG, of course. This most don't have a
Not
weapon.
WYSIWYG, of course. I love that you said of course.
It's because he tried to start building the Deathwatch army, and John's like, "Don't put any arms on, period." And Nick started gluing the arms on. He's like, "I just wanted to look like a complete model. What's going on here?"
I love everything about that. No, I'm psyched up for Chaos. I'm psyched up for Chaos. I'm more psyched up for Craft World. Equal. I mean, I need them to be spaced a little bit so I can have a little bit of time bandwagoning both. Because I don't like it when two codexes come out back to back that I want to bandwagon. Makes it too hard for me. I gotta subcontract out armies here. I gotta get more stuff. I'm willing to borrow everything, as everyone knows. So, but I like to play a couple games with actual models on the board.
I was going to borrow anything in New Orleans if the army didn't show up.
Yes, I was. I love the fact that I thought you guys were joking, but I didn't realize I was picking my poison. Yes, you want to play Templars or Knights? I was like, neither, but
Knights it is. We picked for you.
oh, I would have just not played if I had to play Knights. Random big stuff is not my bag, baby. I'm the garbage man. I need lots of stuff.
You get no stuff. No Retrieve Octarius, no banners. Don't worry about it.
Oh, dude, I played. I have so much metal. The Wraith, everything. Ooh. Nids will be bonkers, probably. I'm not gonna lie. Nids with an outdated codex with this Leviathan update literally punch up hard. I can't. When they get their actual book, and if they can soup with GSC, whew, that's.
I have a feeling 2 CP shoot Hiveguard twice is not going to exist.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, just a lot of
I
those
don't think
things
that's going to exist.
Well, they've always been like that. They actually say those things kind of quite a bit. If everybody's bringing one thing, or if everybody's only using one, specific unit or stratagem and stuff like that, they tend to want that to go away.
That's why I'm nervous about Custodes, because it's just -1 strength, turn off rerolls.
Dude, turn off
Possible
rerolls is just terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. I literally
2
just
CP, it's well worth it.
yeah. Well, dude, I live my life for that. You're like, how do witches do any damage? You're like, I reroll everything. It seems awesome. You're like, what happens when you hit a Telemon with no rerolls? They kill me? Nothing. I do a wound that they probably save. So, but I wonder what they're gonna do with the Forge World stuff on that, because right now Custodes is literally made of Forge World. I actually hadn't looked at the actual codex in like forever, and I pulled it up and I was like, oh, they don't take anything from this codex. They take the characters. That's
Yeah,
it.
half their data sheet are characters, and then there's a terrible Contemptor and a Land Raider, and that's the book.
Yeah, and then you basically take Forge World. So I was just like, where's that army gonna go?
The Forge World stuff got core or didn't get core already, so poor Telemons.
Do away with Shadow Keepers. You're right on that. We'll live in a world where mids don't need to have Hive Guard. I mean, yes, probably. I mean, we're gonna get JSC stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the army that scares me the most, if it's good, is GSC. Any army that can punch up is just scary. I mean, you've seen it with a lot of the armies that have done very, very well in the last year, are just armies that can trade up with cheap stuff into your more expensive stuff. That's always just going to be a good way to roll. I don't, as a player, things that are just like super durable and slow are always just play aroundable. When we had big units of Death Guard Terminators, when we had Dark Angels Terminators and stuff like that, they're all very, very durable and stuff, but you can either put overwhelming firepower into them, or you can just not go where they are. So, but something that can be everywhere because they have tons of units that are cheap is terrifying. So if they have that, that's just a really scary thing. I mean, that is not wrong. Custom strats could all do with a rewrite, to be fair, because the ones that are bad are horrible, and the ones that are good are amazing.
The Codex ones are pretty bad overall, except for Tanglefoot. Don't touch Tanglefoot.
Get away from Tanglefoot. That is there a more sad feeling than when you get hit with Tanglefoot twice?
Yeah. Well, now that there's no reroll on it, it's pretty swingy, but man, does it pay off when you roll the exact number you need.
You just drop a 5 and a 6 on somebody, you're like, that charge is probably not going to work out for you anymore.
Yeah. On a stream game, Jack tried to fall back with his Centurions from my Akalon Terminators, and I was base to base with him. So I was like, all right, cool. Tanglefoot, rolled a 4. Cannot get outside of an inch. You're stuck, and I'm activating first this turn.
Oh, oof.
It was good.
Oh, I mean, living in Garrett, we can't even talk about Imperial Guard. We just did the IG clinic, and I was just like, we need some help. Sorry, IG. I mean,
this is not the Leviathan supplement.
Yeah, IG is did not get a lot of love in there. You're like, if the rest of the stuff playable, problem, you know what I mean? And then IG was like, hey, what about us? You're like, you'll get a codex soon, big guy. You'll be in.
It's not like the rules they got were terrible. It's just they need a lot of help.
So much more.
They need a lot of
help.
Their
guys are still too expensive. Dude, an infantry squad is just silly for what they call it.
They have no counter assault either. Their Bogren are terrible.
Yes. And they're also,
hurts.
Not only are they terrible, they're overpriced and terrible.
Yeah. AP1, baby.
It's just they bounce off everything. You're like
Giant Club, AP1.
Yeah.
Like crisis suits in combat, AP1.
And that's what you think. Queensberry rules Tal. Oh, fisticuffs. Oh, come on now. Yeah, that is true. IG was the first Codex of 8. Well, if you're talking about people that are super outdated, they got some rewrites. Chaos is, I think, the oldest stuff besides that. Because
it was Chaos, Death Guard, and Grey Knights, right?
I'm talking because a lot of this stuff is still 8th. The Demons have never got a Codex since 8th edition.
Yeah, they're still
Death Guard got a 9th edition Codex. It's old. Just old. The demon rules don't even have stuff. So does CSM. CSM has literally rules that say pay a CP and you can fire a vehicle without incurring the penalty. That doesn't even exist anymore.
Isn't one of the Chaos Legion traits reroll morale?
There's all kinds of
just reroll morale.
They literally have all kinds of things that aren't even rules anymore that are in their codex. So yes, they need some help. Yeah, exactly. Craft World's still rocking 2017. Doesn't matter. It's always Eldrad on the front. It's all you need, bro. Eldrad hitting a pose. What's up, bros? Eldrad, sup? Dang it. I don't know. I think the demons might be. I don't know. I have to go look now. Somebody find out the actual who's right about this. The order of 8th edition releases.
I feel like it was Space Marines were up there. Grey Knights.
Yeah, but Space Marines have had new shit since then. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, they've had new stuff since, but I think those are the first 3 codex.
Yeah, but who hasn't gotten a codex since then is what we're asking on that.
Since then?
So who's got whose current codex is the oldest? Or just say the top 3 oldest.
It's definitely, it's IG or Craft Worlds. They're both around the same time.
I mean, it's just
far.
You just haven't anything in a while. And all of those codexes just have so many rules that you're like, that's not even a rule. So I do love the fact that they gave regular stupid Dire Avengers a strat to have exploding hits. You're like, when am I bringing my Craft World Dire Avengers into close combat? Bring it, yo. I'm trying
They
to
did
think.
against my Tau. The Taunar won.
Yeah, anybody wins. Craft World troops are currently the worst troops in the game. They're just awful. Just horrifically awful. Whew. It was after all that, yeah. Astronaut Telem, October 2017. Tyranids, November 2017. Craft World's October 2017. Thank you, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Ooh, those are old, Matt. So old, dude. You're like, what are you doing? Just gonna rock my 4-year-old book here.
It's just shocking that they didn't do supplements for those factions if they were going to put campaign supplements before all the codexes were done.
Yeah.
Just do the ones that are at the back of the line.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, hey, man, how you guys win rate? Not good. Not good.
We're going to buff this S tier faction. Don't worry.
Don't worry. Like, he's already winning about at a good 60-some% clip. We need some new rules for that. What about these guys? Half of our stratagems actually don't work anymore per the 9th edition rules. You'll be fine. Yeah, Dire Avengers Secret Tech. Ooh, they're just so bad. I'm trying to figure out how many Dire Avengers in combat you would need to take out literally anybody else's, like a actual close combat unit. Whew. All of the Dire Avengers. That's what we need to do with those little, they have those simulated battles. Like, how many Dire Avengers do I need to take out just in combat? Like 10 Vanguard vets. Ah! Here,
All right, you ready to tell the folks what's coming up this week in Art of War?
I just looked at some of the stuff. Sorry, I got caught up in the chat. I got caught
I
up in
just
the
wanted to talk
whirlwind
about
of
Dire
chat.
Avengers.
I did a little bit. You know what? Never mind. I am talking about Dire Avengers before we talk about what's going on this week, because Dire Avengers are literally supposed to be dudes that are laser focused and shooting their catapult for hundreds, if not 1,000 years of their lifespan, and they're literally way worse than any guardsman, and especially an AdMech guy. A ranger is what a freaking Dire Avenger aspires to be right now. They have
A ranger is a machine precision tool, okay?
it's
Don't
not
mess
an
with the
immortal
ranger.
guy that literally has like lightning reflexes and moves faster than you can see. Yeah.
Once they put me as the fabricator general, Brad, this was always going to be the
Dire
outcome.
Avengers have pictures in their rooms of rangers from AdMech. It's what they do when they work out. They're like, if I could only be as cool as that guy. Oh, someday, buddy. I know I've been alive for 1,000 years and that guy's 23, but I definitely want to be that dude. Okay, I'm. You know what? I'm done. Siegs, tell me what's happening this week.
All right, we got some awesome stream matches coming up. Tomorrow, we've got a cool one with Jack testing out Custodes. He's thinking about bringing them to Warzone Atlanta. He's going to be playing up against Nick's Grey Knights, so that should be a good matchup with two really strong armies. And then on Thursday, Nick is busting out Mike Porter's GT-winning Aldari list, so it's Harlequins and Craft Worlds, and he's going to be playing up against John Lennon's latest and greatest Sisters list. Another good matchup there. And in the War Room, I'm busting out AdMech up against John Lennon's Leviathan Tyranids. So he's going up against the AdMech. We're going to see how the Tyranids do. He's running GSC this time, so he has access to blips against the planes, and we'll see if that's enough. But no Hive Tyrant this time. That's sad. I like the Hive Tyrant.
Hive Tyrant doesn't deserve to be.
He's iconic.
He's iconic, and he's still overpriced and doesn't do enough.
And then on Friday, John and I are going to be sitting down on YouTube and going through a faction tier list for all the factions in the game. We did this a couple months back. People loved it. There's been enough new rules now.
I'm invading that,
it's
by the
time
way.
again.
Just letting you know.
You're coming in. Jack already wants to be in on it.
We can do it 4-way. I got a screen set up for us. You guys don't need to steal that. I want to be in on this tier list because I want to argue my views on this.
You're going to put salamanders up there, and we're like, Brad, you don't even know about salamanders.
I know about Sally's baby. Vulcan for life. Except for when he's not as good as other codexes, then I play something else. Bandwagon for life. My have no loyalty. Right there, baby. What's the best codex? That's what Brad's going to be playing. So, join in this week in the War Room, and in YouTube, and in wherever else you want to join in. Just join in and hang out with us. We've got stuff we want to talk about. What we would want to talk about, though, is what you want to talk about. So jump into the Discord, jump on Facebook, give us the questions you want us to answer, give us the armies you want us to play, give us anything you really want us to focus on, because we want to make sure that we're actually doing what you guys want to see. So,
Absolutely.
ladies and gents, I appreciate your time. Siegs, as always, thank you.
Have a great one. Thanks.